Hello, Lakers Nation. It's always great to be back talking about our team, and today we've got a lot to unpack. So if you're ready to dive in, make sure you're locked in and paying attention, because we're talking about something that doesn't get enough love in the Lakers community, the credit Rob Pelinka actually deserves. I know, that might sound crazy to some people who are used to throwing shade his way whenever things don't go perfectly, but hear me out. The truth is, over the last couple of years, Pelinka has grown a lot as an executive, and this version of him has been quietly building one of the most balanced Lakers rosters we've seen in a long time. Now, I get it. Lakers fans are passionate. When the team isn't performing the way everyone expects, someone has to take the blame, and Rob has often been that guy. But if you take a closer look at how a lot of those so-called bad moves happened, you start to see a different story. Let's start with the big one, the Russell Westbrook trade. A lot of people have dragged Pelinka for that deal, saying it was all his fault. But the reality? That trade was driven by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It's not a rumor, it's documented. They literally sat down at LeBron's house, talked about teaming up with Russ, and pushed for the move. Rob was in the middle of negotiating other trades. Buddy Hield was on the table. DeMar DeRozan was being discussed. But when the superstars came to ownership and said, "Get it done," Jeannie Buss told Rob to make it happen. What's he supposed to do? Tell his bosses no? That's not how it works in the NBA. When your top players and your owner want something, you execute it. That's part of the job. And the crazy part is that one decision, something that wasn't even his original plan, has shaped the way fans talk about him to this day. People act like Pelinka can just override ownership or ignore LeBron's wishes, which is not how front office functions. Every major move goes through multiple layers of approval. But the good thing is, Pelinka has learned from that experience. Earlier in his career, he used to rush into trades. If something looked good on paper, he'd pull the trigger. Sometimes that paid off. Sometimes the Lakers got burned. But these last few seasons, you can see a shift. He's become more patient, more strategic, more willing to wait for the right opportunity rather than forcing one. And that patience has paid off big time. Think about what he's done just in the last offseason. For the first time, Rob officially stepped into the role of president of basketball operations. A lot of people assumed he already was, but he wasn't. He was the vice president until now. This was the first summer where he truly had the full authority to build the roster the way he envisioned. And what does he do? He brings in DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, and somehow manages to keep all the key assets intact. No crazy overpay, no desperation move. Just solid, well-calculated additions that fit the team's needs. Now, I know some fans weren't excited at first. The reactions online were wild. People calling DeAndre Ayton washed, or saying Marcus Smart was past his prime. But look at what's happening now. The Lakers are 7-2, and those three guys have been difference makers every single night. They're bringing energy, defense, rebounding, leadership, and a sense of identity that this roster was missing before. You can't ignore that impact. Ayton is finally giving this team a true presence inside, something they've needed since the championship run. Smart is doing what he always does, being that gritty, vocal leader who makes the tough plays that don't show up in the box score. And LaRavia? He's been one of the pleasant surprises, defending at a high level, grabbing rebounds, hustling for every loose ball, and doing all the little things that championship teams need. If this exact same roster move had been made by another franchise, everyone would be hyping it up. Imagine if the Brooklyn Nets or the Charlotte Hornets had pulled off trades for Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton in the same stretch. The media would be calling them geniuses, saying they'd just reshaped the future of their franchise. But when the Lakers do it, people act like it's nothing special. That's just how it goes with this team. Expectations are always sky high, and people forget how hard it is to build a balanced roster around aging superstars and a massive spotlight. Rob Pelinka's patience this offseason was key. Earlier in his tenure, he probably would have jumped on whatever trade was available just to make noise. But this time he waited. He let the market settle. And instead of losing assets in a trade, he managed to add those same pieces through smart signings. That's not luck. That's good management. Signing Marcus Smart for free instead of trading for him, that's a win. Adding Ayton when people thought the Lakers couldn't afford to make a big move, another win. keeping all those draft picks and expiring contracts so the team still has flexibility moving forward. That's the type of long-term vision Lakers fans should be excited about. What I like most about this version of Rob Pelinka is that he's not chasing headlines anymore. He's not reacting to social media, not panicking after every loss, not letting public pressure dictate his decisions. He's moving quietly, deliberately, and building a roster that can actually compete, not just look good on paper. That's how great front offices operate. He understands now that sometimes the best move is no move. No trade is better than a bad trade. And this current roster is proof of that mindset paying off. Look at how different the Lakers feel this season. They're not just relying on LeBron and AD to carry them every night. They've got role players who know their jobs and execute them. They've got depth. They've got balance. The chemistry is obvious, and the energy is different. You can feel it in every game. The team is playing with confidence and purpose. And that's what happens when your front office gives you the right pieces to work with. Pelinka's been through the fire, been criticized endlessly, but he's learned. He's adapted. And now, we're seeing the results. It's still early, sure. Nobody's handing out trophies in November. But give credit where it's due. Rob Pelinka put together a team that looks built for both the regular season and the playoffs. They've got the shooting, they've got the defense, and they've got the toughness to hang with anyone in the league. And he did it all while keeping future options open. That's smart management. That's growth. This is why I keep saying, you can't judge a general manager off one or two bad moves, especially in a league where star players and ownership often have the final say. You have to look at the bigger picture. And when you do, it's hard not to see how far Pelinka's come. He's gone from being reactionary to being strategic, from taking criticism to earning respect. Whether people want to admit it or not, the Lakers are in a much better position today because of that evolution. And as long as this front office keeps operating with that kind of discipline, the Lakers are going to stay in a mix for years to come. Take Jake LaRavia, for example. When that signing happened, people rolled their eyes. Social media was filled with comments like, "Who is this guy?" Or "He won't even make the rotation." But here we are, watching him play meaningful minutes, doing all the small things that winning teams rely on. He rebounds, he defends, he communicates, and he doesn't force bad shots. You can tell he understands his role, and that's something the Lakers have been missing for years. Role players who embrace their job and don't try to do too much. LaRavia is the type of player that championship teams always seem to have. He's not flashy, but he's reliable. And Marcus Smart, what a pickup that turned out to be. Everyone knows Smart's reputation as a defensive bulldog, but he's also brought something else to the locker room: accountability. When a guy like that walks in, someone who's been through deep playoff runs, who's played in the finals, and who's won Defensive Player of the Year, it changes the tone of a team. His leadership style fits perfectly with what the Lakers needed. He's vocal without being overbearing, and his energy has clearly rubbed off on the younger players. You can see on the court, guys are fighting over screens, communicating on switches, diving for loose balls. That's Marcus Smart's influence written all over it. And then there's DeAndre Ayton. A lot of people were quick to dismiss him after his time in Phoenix ended, calling him soft or inconsistent. But the truth is, he just needed a fresh start and a system that believed in him. With the Lakers, you can see him playing with renewed confidence. He's protecting the rim, running the floor, setting solid screens, and finally showing flashes of that dominant big man everyone expected when he came into the league. And playing alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic has made his life so much easier. He's getting cleaner looks, more opportunities to roll to the basket, and his chemistry with both of them is improving with every game. This is what Pelinka envisioned when he built this roster: a team that could play fast, defend at a high level, and still have enough skill to execute in the half court. He wanted versatility, and that's exactly what he got. The Lakers now have multiple lineups they can throw at opponents, depending on a matchup. They can go big with Ayton and Davis, or small and switch everything. They can push the pace or grind it out in the half court. That kind of flexibility is what wins in the playoffs. And let's not forget, Pelinka did all this without emptying the asset cupboard. The Lakers still have draft picks, expiring contracts, and young players who could be used to make another move down the road if the right opportunity comes along. That's what makes this rebuild so impressive. He's balanced the short-term goal of winning now with the long-term health of the franchise. That's not easy to do, especially for a team that's always expected to compete for championships. You can tell Pelinka learned from the past. The early years after the bubble championship were chaotic, too many quick roster changes, too much turnover. It felt like the Lakers were chasing something instead of building it. But now, there's a real sense of structure. The roster makes sense. The pieces fit. The moves feel intentional instead of reactive. That's growth. That's maturity as an executive. And honestly, it's time fans start giving him his due. When things go wrong, everyone's ready to pile on. But when things go right, suddenly it's all about the players or the coaching staff. And yes, Darvin Ham deserves credit for managing this group. But the truth is, he can only work with what the front office gives him. Pelinka put together a team that fits Ham's philosophy. Tough, defense first, selfless, and capable of adapting. You can't coach effort, and this team plays like they care. What's also refreshing is how this roster has taken pressure off LeBron James. For years, he's had to do everything: score, create, defend, lead. But now, there are legitimate pieces around him who can carry stretches of the game. Luka Doncic is a generational talent who can run the offense. Anthony Davis is playing some of the best two-way basketball of his career. And then you've got role players who know their assignments. It's no longer LeBron or bust. That balance is something Pelinka worked hard to achieve. And when you think about it, this is the best possible setup for the final chapters of LeBron's career. He doesn't need to play 40 minutes every night or carry the entire scoring load. He can pick his spots, save energy for the postseason, and trust the roster to hold things down. That's the mark of a well-constructed team. Of course, the season's long. There are going to be ups and downs, and there's still work to be done. The Lakers could use another athletic wing, maybe a backup big for depth. But the foundation is there. The culture feels right. The players seem bought in. And for the first time in a while, it feels like the Lakers have a plan that's actually being executed, not just talked about. Rob Pelinka's journey hasn't been perfect, but it's been one of growth and perseverance. He's gone from being the easy target to being the architect behind one of the league's most complete teams. The Lakers are winning, the chemistry looks real, and for once, the front office deserves as much praise as the players getting it done on the floor. That's what leadership looks like: quiet, patient, and effective. And if this is the new standard for how Pelinka runs things, the rest of the league better start paying attention, because the Lakers aren't just back, they're built to last. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, the Los Angeles Lakers are once again at the center of swirling speculation, and this time, the source of the storm is none other than Rich Paul. The powerhouse agent, known for his close ties to LeBron James, has reportedly revealed details of a tense meeting between the Lakers' front office and the four-time NBA champion, sparking conversations that have fans and insiders buzzing alike. According to Paul, the discussion was far from a usual cordial exchange between star player and management. Sources close to the situation describe an atmosphere thick with frustration and veiled warnings. While official statements remain tight-lipped, whispers around the league suggest the meeting revolved around LeBron's future with the franchise, roster construction, and the front office's vision for the team heading into a critical stretch of the season. LeBron, now in the twilight of an extraordinary career, has always been candid about his desire to compete at the highest level, and insiders hint that the Lakers' current trajectory may have fueled his concerns. Some believe that the conversation, though private, could mark a turning point in the relationship between the NBA icon and the storied franchise he has helped define. The timing of Paul's revelation adds another layer to the intrigue. With trade rumors, free agency speculation, and championship aspirations all in play, the news of a tense encounter immediately set off a firestorm on social media and among sports analysts. While nothing concrete has emerged, the mere suggestion of friction between LeBron and the Lakers management has sent ripple effects throughout the league, prompting discussions about possible trades, coaching adjustments, and long-term strategy shifts. Fans are left to wonder whether this meeting is a sign of looming change or simply a candid conversation that occasionally occurs between superstar and front office. Either way, Rich Paul's comments have reignited the debate over how the Lakers will navigate the delicate balance between honoring LeBron's legacy and building a team capable of contending in an increasingly competitive Western Conference. One thing is certain. In Los Angeles, even a hint of tension is enough to dominate headlines and keep the rumor mills running at full speed. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.